Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Mik'd Up. Today is Wednesday, September 24th. Got a great show for you today. It is the Wednesday before the Ole Miss LSU game. Biggest game to date for LSU. Obviously, the Clemson game was the biggest.
Can't say that. Yeah, we won't know if it's a big game until we do.
We won't know, right? Obviously, Clemson lost some luster, but it was a big game at the time. This is the next big game at the time on the schedule. Two top 15 teams playing very, I would imagine, tightly contested. Vegas thinks it is. Ole Miss is favored by 1.5 at home against LSU. You know, it's usually about 3-point home field advantage. It's usually about 3 points in the spread. So basically a pick 'em. This weekend should be a good game, should be fun. We have a lot to talk about. Obviously, on Monday we talked about a lot of the recap of the weekend, what to look forward to this week. Today's going to be a lot of conversation about the matchup between LSU and Ole Miss, which is always a good one. There's always some fireworks in that, especially with Lane Kiffin and his offensive mind. I'm sure there's going to be some things that he's going to try to pull out of his sleeve to make it interesting, but we'll talk about that. Brad Logan, who has the Believe in Ole Miss podcast, will be joining us at 7 o'clock to talk all things Ole Miss. And there's a lot of questions, obviously, we want to ask him. He obviously covers Ole Miss a lot more closely than we do. So he will have – what?
I would hope.
Yeah. So we have a lot more insight from him. This weekend is probably the first weekend of the year where you have the slate of college football games that they have. I mean, there's a ton of matchups all around the country. Obviously, LSU, Ole Miss. You have Georgia, Alabama. You have Oregon, Penn State. You have a bunch of interesting matchups that we're going to talk a little bit about. Ryder Cup starts on Friday. I wish the LSU game was a night game for a lot of reasons, but one of the big reasons is I wish I could watch the Ryder Cup all day and then go straight to the LSU game. Not going to be the case. You're going to have double TVs if you want to watch it. But Ryder Cup's always a very, very fun weekend playing at Bethpage Black. A little chilly. Fall weathered up there in New York.
Come to Golf Suites.
Is that what you're watching? You're watching the Ryder Cup on Get Golf Suites?
Oh, yeah. We're doing our watch party there for the
LSU.
LSU.
You're doing for the game?
LSU Ole Miss game.
Tingle and Co.
Tingle and Co. Check them out. 7 to 9, Monday through
Golf
Friday.
Suites, go check it out.
Saturday, 2:30.
I won't be there, actually. I'm sorry.
You're not invited.
Okay. You just said come to Golf Suites.
I'm talking to the people.
Not me.
No.
I'm not invited.
No.
Okay. It's also the last
Got a
week
real quarterback. Rohan Davies going to be there.
Yeah. It's also the last week of Major League Baseball, the regular season. Playoff races are heating up. A lot of teams are starting to clinch. A lot of teams are trying to win the division. Kevin Gausman, obviously LSU, great. They have already clinched, but they are trying to win the division, battling the Yankees for the top spot in the AL East. SEC schedules obviously got released. We saw what they had next year, but they've released them all the way up to 2029. It's going to be an adjustment for a lot of people on games and teams and not playing some teams that you're used to playing. But all in all, I think it's a good thing, interesting thing. You're going to finally get Texas to come to Baton Rouge next year. Home slate next year is very, very, very good and very fun. So that should be very enjoyable. It's also Wednesday, so it's Ask Mikey and Mitch. Throw your questions in the chat. If you haven't already thrown them in on the social media, we have a lot of answers for you. We're joined by producer Logan, who promised he was going to bring his personality today. He said he's hopped up on energy drinks.
That's right.
That's what he said he was on.
Legally.
Yeah, legal energy is what he's on. We're also joined by two-time All-American, one-time football, one-time baseball, top 100 football recruit, first-round draft pick in the Major League Baseball draft, played center field left-handed, played quarterback at the infamous Westgate High right-handed. He is in his beautiful
and movie critic.
He has in a beautiful movie theater, Jared Mitchell. Welcome back, Jay. Look at that.
I tell you what, don't lie to people. This is not mine.
Look at that. Look at that.
This is not mine.
Hey, I wish you had.
Right now, I am in beautiful Dallas, Texas, through the rest of the week. So that's where I'll be spending my time at and watching this game this weekend as well. So
are you gonna watch it in there?
Where at?
Are you gonna watch it in that room?
Yeah, possibly, maybe.
That's a great. Be careful, though. Easy to fall asleep there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Very easy. Very easy to fall asleep here.
Comfy chairs. I wish you had popcorn popping out there in that machine and you got over your left shoulder, I guess that would be.
J. Mitch, what I've heard is what's mine is yours.
Yes, but that means you just got to get on the road, you know. But you don't like to drive, so.
I'm a fly guy.
You're a private flight.
Call John.
Yeah.
John.
Yeah, he's a private.
Yeah, leave Texas to go back to Texas.
Yeah, leave Dallas, go pick me up, and go back.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'd be.
He's already there doing something. Just hop in with him.
I'm sure he'd
Just
be open.
coordinate the schedules.
I'm sure he'd be open to doing that.
He should go to the Ryder Cup, just in case.
Smiley's there. Smiley's
Ed O's there.
Ed O. Listen, here's the deal, dude. Ed O. Look, there's been a lot of conspiracies outside of the sports world, like, oh, you know, all these like protests around the country. Oh, people are getting paid to go protest. I feel like Coach O is being paid to go to events and be the hype man at the events. He's getting cheers and stuff from the American fans at the Ryder Cup. He's starting cheers at the Ryder Cup. I can't imagine Coach O has ever swung a golf club.
No.
Can't imagine, right? So that just leads me to believe that they're paying him to be there. He took his shirt off. Loves to do that. That's his move. It feels like he had to give away a lot of his money. It feels like he's trying to, this is some source of income for him right now.
He's got the itch back.
He's got the itch
to coach.
It's crazy how that works.
Damn, half?
Crazy how that works. Damn, $8 million.
Big itch guy.
Which mine is yours. Yep.
What'd you say?
I said he's a big itch guy.
Oh, big itch.
When the itch is there,
guy. You won't scratch it.
If it's in his back though, he may not be able to get to it. You know what I mean? Hard to move around.
Can't fit in a Honda Civic.
Big back, not as long of arms as you think, but
yeah, just a little scratch. Yeah,
it is what it is.
But we're not here to talk about Coach O. Sometimes we are, but not today. Big game this weekend. I really want to get into it. We've talked a lot about what we liked from the past weekend and how we've seen some improvement on the offensive side of the football, largely because it feels like Nussmeier is healthy again. This is going to be a really big test for him, obviously going on the road. Pete Golding, look, Ole Miss's defense isn't great statistically. Pete Golding obviously has a lot of experience against LSU. So he's going to try to throw everything he's got at the offense to try to keep them off balance, to try to keep them guessing. And then you obviously have Lane Kiffin, who is an offensive-minded guy who is always known to have a really good offense. I believe Ole Miss's offense is ranked 9th in the country, scoring 45 points a game. Their defense is a lot lower. I think it's in the 70s, giving up a good amount of points. LSU's offense is 17th in total. LSU's defense is 17th in total defense. Points per game. I believe that they're playing better than that, obviously. It's going to be a huge challenge for them. But what?
I mean, it's 9 points a game.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like
17th, sure, I don't know who else has played or who has.
There's
been some bye weeks already out there.
Wait, I thought they give up 10 points every game. How are they giving up? Oh, no, they only give up 7. Right? No. What are the scores?
Okay. Let's go through it.
Clemson gave up 10.
Tech gave up 0.
Okay, that's it. Tech. I was trying to figure out where they got the 9, but that's it.
So math works. You take all those scores
and you average them together.
Yeah, you add them all together, then you divide by that number.
I don't know in my head. I was like, oh, 10, 10, 10, but no, Tech didn't score. Yeah, they did. Tech didn't get shut out. They scored 7. That's how they got to 9. 10, 10, and 7 points in that game. That's average to 9. I would imagine. I guess.
29 divided by 3.
It doesn't matter. But I want to talk about the LSU, obviously, the matchup and the what Ole Miss does and what LSU does. We talked about the offense. News came out, obviously, earlier in the week that Caden Durham's ankle sprain, probable or day-to-day, should play. He's listed as questionable on the first injury report. Jared, do you think he plays this weekend?
It's a very good question. So here's what I'm thinking at this point, too. Knowing what Ole Miss's defense looks like, especially in terms of the running game, I really do wonder if a lot of what was done last week was to allow Caden to get healthy and or if it was really to tool the different things that they were trying to do in the run game to be able to get themselves ready this week. So I think it's a very real chance he may not be able to play much and or could be limited. But also it could be, well, hey, look, these are the things we want to do in the running game. Let's give him an opportunity to get healthy while also getting someone else ready who may need to run the ball a lot. Because I'm going to go ahead and guess, especially on the road, that this is one that they're going to look to run the ball a lot.
Yeah.
And look, you got Ole Miss's defense is a bottom 20 defense in the country in running, and they haven't really played anyone yet. So I would imagine this is a situation where they're going to be looking to how can we run the ball, and not just traditional runs. Think about what they've done over the past few games. Think about what they did against Tech in the run game and how they started using Xavier Thomas and all these other guys in the backfield and started getting creative. I think this is a game that they try to control the ball by running the ball, that they try to keep the ball out of Ole Miss's hands, and they really try to control the line of scrimmage and control the clock. So could he play? Does he play? I think the injury situation might be real. I suspect he'll give it a go, but we don't know how healthy he is and how long he'll last.
Yeah, I think he's going to play. How much he plays, I think it just depends on what he looks like when he's out there. That means Juwan Johnson's going to be in line to get a lot of carries. I believe you're going to see Xavier Thomas get more carries. I believe you're going to see Barrion Brown have some carries from the wide receiver position. I think you're going to see Xavier Thomas get carries from that, motioning him in like they've been doing a few times throughout the course of the year. You're going to see some of that stuff. They're going to figure out a way to generate yards on the ground because, like you said, they are going to try to control the clock. They're going to try to dominate the game up front, and I think that they have the ability to do that. Obviously, Ole Miss's run defense isn't very good, and LSU's run offense, obviously ranking-wise, isn't very good. But Lloyd sent us a clip that we're not going to play because it's 9 minutes long, but there's a comment in the clip of I'd assume an LSU fan, and bringing out the stats of the teams that they played and the running numbers that LSU has had. And LSU just about got the teams that they played before, whatever their runs, yards per game they've given up on the ground, LSU got right at that number all 3 games. Now, they weren't blowing it out of the water, but teams that they played against have a relatively good running defense. And LSU is able to generate some rushing yards. It hasn't been consistent. It hasn't been as sexy as we wanted it to be. It hasn't been as as dominant as we wanted it to be. But it's not like LSU's running for 35 yards, 40 yards a game. I feel like they are on the cusp of being able to generate more offense, and I think that is going to be directly is correlated to Nuss being healthy and being able to be more efficient in the passing game and continue to stay on track and not have, a lot of 3rd and longs. And, look, maybe Nuss is healthy and he pulls the ball a little bit more and gets some yards on the ground. I think that's obviously going to help. You're going to see a lot of guys contribute in the running game, but if Caden Durham is not close to 100%, you're going to see Juwan Johnson get, I would imagine, probably 15-plus carries in this game, which, he showed last week. I know it's against Southeastern, but he has good vision. He has the ability to hit the hole. He's really good out of the backfield catching the football. And so I think that LSU feels a lot of confidence in him. You're probably going to see more Harlan Berry out there get more carries. He only has 15 carries over the course of 4 games. But you're going to see him, out of necessity, probably get a few more this weekend. On the flip side, Ole Miss's offense has been very good. They obviously came into the year. Everybody was extremely high on Austin Simmons, who was their starting quarterback to start the year. Went down with injury. Obviously not 100% healthy. Trinidad Chambliss has gotten the start over the last 2 weeks. I would imagine he gets the start again this week. They came out and said that he was starting. Then Lane Kiffin on Pat McAfee's show said that was news to him. He has not announced who the starter was. I believe it's going to be Trinidad Chambliss. Now the question is, and this is a question we talked off air that we're going to ask Brad Logan when he comes on at 7, is this a quarterback change, or is he starting because Austin Simmons is not healthy? That we don't know. He probably has a better idea. But Trinidad Chambliss has been extremely effective in the 2 games that he has started. He's looked explosive. I think he ran for 116 yards last week against Tulane, threw for 200 and something or 300 yards or whatever it was. So he's been really good. Division II quarterback, transfer from Ferris State. Obviously going to be a challenge for LSU's defense. It feels like if this was the case last year, it would have been a whole lot more of a concern. It feels now that with Harold Perkins having that role in the star and Whit Weeks being able to do some of the spying as well, it feels like LSU's defense is equipped to handle a quarterback like that. Do you agree with that statement, Jared?
Yeah. I mean, we saw them handle a running quarterback in week 1 of the season, obviously, in Cade Klubnik. So I feel good about what they can do and the things that they've changed and kind of cleaned up on the defensive side. Because if you remember, a year ago, they got gashed by every true dual threat quarterback that came through. They got gashed by all of them. So to see them make the changes that they've pretty much made so far this year has been encouraging. I think this will be another big test for them. On the flip side of it, if I'm just going to talk about Ole Miss and talk about what they're doing at the quarterback position, I wonder, I feel like Lane Kiffin and that staff is at a spot right now where they're basically going off of, we are going to feed and play the hot hand. I don't know any coach in America that needs their starting quarterback and or whoever starting at whatever position to be at 100 to say he's our starting quarterback. Lane Kiffin came out, and there is a quote where he said, we'll have to evaluate Simmons' health and then make a decision. He also went on to say, today was just a walkthrough, so not enough to evaluate, but at 100% he's our starting quarterback. But we don't know that he's at that percentage yet. All I know is that from everything that I've ever been through and ever seen, if a starter is telling you he's healthy and ready to go, it don't have to be 100. So it feels like he probably won't be at 100, and it also feels like if that's not the case, they want to ride the hot hand. And I understand that, like this is a huge game for Ole Miss. I think they're trying to announce that they are as real comes this year. They need and want this win. It's another home game for them. It's a big home game for them. And I think if they're able to get a win in this situation, they probably feel like they'll be looked at differently.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I think that they're trying to put everything that they need in front to make sure that this is a win. That doesn't mean necessarily health is what they're looking for. I won't say health is what they're looking for. They want the health because health gives them the opportunity to do everything that they want to do here. So I think that that's what we're looking at. I think you'll end up seeing Trinidad. But it does still bold the question, like we want to figure out is, do you have a true quarterback competition, or has the hot hand become the now hand, and that hand is going to continue to go forward until it's no longer a thing?
Correct. And look, if you look at what Ole Miss has done historically, right, and Lane Kiffin's offenses historically, everybody just assumes that, they throw the ball all around the field and they do all – yeah, sure. But whenever they're firing on all cylinders and whenever they're dominant, they run the football extremely effectively. And so that was one of the things, if you could remember him last year, he talked about how they didn't feel like they ran the football well enough against LSU to win that game. They have their start running back is Kawan Lacey. He's got just under 400 yards rushing on the year. They also have Logan Diggs, obviously LSU transfer. He's got a couple rushing touchdowns this year. Those two guys have the most rushing yards on their team. I would imagine that he is going to try to establish that run. Now, on the flip side, LSU's run defense has been real. I mean, every part of their defense has been really good, but LSU's run defense has been really good. Secondary, obviously, lights out. I think if they can force, if Trinidad Chambliss is the starter, which I believe he is going to be the starter, if they can force him to have to win the game and not allow the running backs to kind of get going, I believe that Ole Miss is going to have a long night because I don't think that he's going to be able to run free like a lot of the running quarterbacks were able to run last year against LSU.
It'll be interesting to see how they play this thing defensively, because if you can run the ball effectively, like LSU probably wants to do in this thing, and you can get out to where you're starting to play with the lead, I'm interested to see if they're gonna allow that defense to kind of really go and hunt, or if they're gonna say, hey, we want to see if you're gonna come to us and how are you gonna do this and make you have to throw and make you have to really drive the ball long drives down the field. It'll be an interesting kind of back and forth in that situation.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's going to be a fun game. There's going to be last year, Ole Miss, it felt like Lane Kiffin probably left some points on the board by going for it and doing some certain things that maybe he didn't have to do, but that's the way he coaches, and that's the type of offense that he runs. Being at home, are they going to still continue to do that? Are they still going to, take those chances on fourth downs? And are they going to do it when they're a little bit more backed up and they probably shouldn't go for it? Are they going to go for it? Are they going to, because their defense hasn't stopped really anybody. So are they going to trust their defense to stop an LSU offense that hasn't been clicking, right? It feels like they are on the verge of clicking, but they haven't done it yet. Are they going to rely on that defense to say, hey, we believe that you're going to be able to stop them? Or they're going to say, hey, we're going to have to go out there and outscore LSU. Not real sure what their game plan and or their mindset with that is. I do want to say this. I think we'd all agree LSU's defense is a lot better this year than it was last year, right? I mean, I think that's been obvious. Last year, Ole Miss had a first-round quarterback. They had veteran wide receivers. They had good running backs. And the final score in Death Valley was 29-26 in overtime. Ole Miss scored 23 points in the regulation. They kicked a field goal in overtime. LSU ended up scoring the touchdown, obviously, to win the game. I believe LSU's defense is significantly better.
First play of their offensive possession in that, correct?
Was that?
Right about that?
Was that?
It was on the first play of their offensive possession, right?
LSU?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It was a fade ball to Kyron in the back of the end zone.
Yeah, it was the back shoulder. I don't know if it was the first play, though.
It was.
It was the first play?
Yeah.
Okay, first play. Yeah. So my point in saying that is I think that, I feel like Ole Miss's offense was more experienced and probably better last year than it is going into this year. Now, they've been putting up points. I feel like LSU's going to be able to – I don't think it's going to be a shootout. Like I don't think it's going to – I don't know, Bryce came in on Monday and said, hey, 25 is a number. If they score over 25, I feel like you can start getting a little nervous. Ole Miss, that is. But, like I said, they scored 26 points last year with an offense that I felt like was better with a quarterback that I know Lane had a lot more confidence in than the two guys he's got right now. So I believe LSU's defense is primed to have another really good day. I believe that if they could put Ole Miss in situations where it's third and long and they allow the defense to get after them, I think that you're going to see some turnovers in the secondary as they've been doing all year. How many interceptions did LSU have last year as a secondary? I think 6.
Yes.
They have 6 already this year, right?
On the season?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I think they only had 6 last year.
I don't know the number, but
6.
They
had 6 as a team last year. They already have 6 this year. So I think if they could put Ole Miss in a situation where they are throwing the football a lot more than they probably want to, I think that bodes well for LSU. Lloyd, what's your opinion on that?
And here's one thing too. If Ole Miss does get out to a lead and they are the ones playing with the lead, I think LSU is finally at a spot in the season where they can start playing from behind and start and I'm not afraid of them chasing points. Early in the year when they're kind of figuring it out and we're kind of seeing that, Garrett Nussmeier was working through an injury a little bit, you were like, all right, well, when's this thing really going to click and kind of get going offensively? When's the passing game going to open up? I feel like they're finally getting to that spot. I would imagine this has been 2 straight weeks that Garrett has practiced fully, kind of getting those reps, getting all those things he needs to get and being able to and feeling good enough to start pushing the ball down the field with some confidence. If they start playing from behind, I do feel like this is a game that they can chase points and do it effectively and still get themselves back into the game and into a winning spot.
Yeah, agreed. Lloyd?
What's your question?
How do you feel about the weekend?
I think LSU still has a good amount of question marks, right? And I guess this is contingent upon
What's the question marks? Like
well, I'd say it's contingent upon the belief of if you don't think Clemson's any good, if you don't think Florida's any good, both of which I think have very good defenses, but people are judging them off their record as they've both lost 2 games at this point, and it feels like LSU's wins against those teams have been, I guess, denounced in a way. But LSU's inability to run the football against a team where you try to want to play keep away, I think is important. Garrett Nussmeier's health is still a question mark. Like I was telling Mikey before the show, I want to see it twice. Like there's certainly that was impressive what he did against Southeastern. You're going up against an Ole Miss team that.
But take the numbers out, right? Like don't look at the. I'm just looking at the way it came out, right? The ball and
well, the numbers are good,
right? I know, but the numbers should be good against Southeastern.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I want him to look healthy like that twice.
Here's a question to you too. Do you think they need to or want to or feel the? Do you think that them running the ball is them trying to play keep away, or do you think it's them saying, I think we can dominate you and run you this way, so why do I need to do anything else at this point?
I think it's attacking a weakness in which Ole Miss has not been able to stop the run. And I think some of those numbers are a bit skewed because you've had running quarterbacks that they've had to guard. But the way that they were able to, I mean, Tulane busted some big ones from the running back position, but is it Green for Arkansas, like ran for over 110 yards? Like that hurts whenever you look at the rushing statistics. And LSU has neither of those. You haven't been able to, and this is what I wanted to ask you. When Brian Kelly went to the podium after was it the Florida game? Yes. And you pop a big one that is, 55 yards from Caden Durham, and that ends up being almost half of your rushing yards. Do you believe that that's actually a fair statement to make, that you only need one? Because there is some truth to that, where if you can get one to salt the game away, like in that position, you only did need one. But I think you need to.
I'm about to say, I believe so, man. Like, I get it. You would love to see them pop it so much. But I do feel like, man, when you're watching someone, if that same run comes in the second quarter, or we're still sitting here questioning it the same way we're questioning it at that point, I do think, like, at that point in the game was still in reach.
Yeah.
They still had timeouts. There was things like the game wasn't over. It wasn't let's just give it up or who cares. So for me, it didn't bother me that much. And I'm not going to sit here and say they've had the most explosive running game. That's not at all where I'm at. But we've also not really seen them push the ball down the field. So if we're not really pushing safeties back and we're not doing a good job at that, and we're allowing these guys to play closer to the line, I'm not super surprised that the run game hasn't opened up yet. And that's why I want to see if a little bit more balance and a little bit more ability to open it up is going to open that run game up more.
And that's where I'm at. That's why I'm kind of like, I guess, talking out of both sides of my mouth. Like, you haven't seen even when Nuss was fully healthy, quote unquote, against Southeastern, you still weren't able to really run the football. But it felt like that was let Nuss cook a little bit and start expanding on the vertical passing game. If you can put that as a real part of your offensive game plan, then I think you should be able to see. But that's also contingent on Caden Durham's health, because you don't have a legitimate running back too. I'm high on Jawan Johnson too. Man doesn't play the position. He went from quarterback in high school to defensive back in college to swing gadget guy in college again, back to quarterback, and now he's at running back. Like, it's hard to put a lot of stock into what he's done because he doesn't have a lot of skins on the wall. So if you don't have, and then you have Caleb Jackson, who's a junior, but you haven't seen him carry it for more than 15 yards in his entire LSU career, and he hadn't scored a touchdown since the bowl game his freshman year. Like, those are all things that, like, you don't have a legitimate answer at the run game, and to be able to attack a weakness that is very much considered Ole Miss's biggest weakness.
Well, let me ask you this, right? We talk about all the question marks, and it's easy to talk about it from the LSU side because we see it all the time. We're watching them very closely. Who do you think has more question marks, LSU or Ole Miss?
I think that Ole Miss has more answers.
Do you?
They have one thing that is going to travel. Or it doesn't have to.
What?
It's at home, that offense. Like, I believe implicitly in what Lane Kiffin can do offensively, but at this point, you have to believe in what Blake Baker can do defensively. And so that's.
I would say, but you're also saying that because
neither team is complete.
That same offense that you believed a lot in, who had a really good receiver, a first-round quarterback, they put up 26.
Well, that's why I brought that up.
Yeah, they should have scored on the second.
Obviously, playing on the road is a little different, but that defense that played last year is not the same defense.
I agree.
The stadium, the way that stadium felt last year was probably not really, and look, it was a great atmosphere. I'm not going to sit here and say
I was about to say.
At all. I'm not going to sit here and say that it wasn't. But I think you and I both would sit here and say this. If that same game is played right now, this year, after the way LSU started, you would hear another level. I think that's fair to say, right?
That was probably the best home game of the year last year. Like, I don't think that's up for debate. What they did with, and it was their extraneous factors, light show, all that thing where people got excited. It was sold out. It was a massive crowd. But also, if you're going to point to that game, LSU never led until the game was over.
Correct. Well, if you go look at put the teams on next to each other, Ole Miss was the better team.
Yeah,
right, top to bottom.
That's what makes me have cause for concern for this week.
But you talk about travel, I think defense travels more than anything.
No doubt.
So, obviously you have the defense traveling. They've been playing extremely well. They're going to go, and they're going to – this quarterback has not seen something like they haven't seen – LSU hasn't seen offense this year yet like them, right? This quarterback has not seen a defense like LSU's. Now, LSU has seen Lane Kiffin before. Blake Baker has prepared against Lane Kiffin before. This quarterback has never prepared for the type of defense that he's going to see. So, in my opinion, I think if you're gonna go back and forth, I like that strength of LSU more than I like the offense of Ole Miss.
Yeah, I've just been super like if this was an Austin Simmons game and he was 100% going to play and Chambliss doesn't exist, I would feel totally differently about how this game is going to play out. But what he's done since he's come in, and it's not just who. Are
you scarred from last year having to face running quarterbacks that ran all over us? Is that what you're scarred of?
No, because when that happened, you didn't have Pert. I think this is very easily and that's what I think that they're going to circle as well. I mean, Lane Kiffin, you can go back to Perk's freshman year whenever he got skunked in the second half against LSU, and LSU was able to kind of run away with it. They beat him by, I think, like 20 points. And he's like, what changed in the second half? He goes, they put 40 in the game. I didn't know who that was.
Yeah.
And now he does. But Harold Perkins can be a game wrecker.
And it's a different defensive scheme with Harold Perkins this year than it has over the last 3 years.
But I think that's what they're probably going to utilize again, is something that isn't relying on Perk really being in coverage. I think they're going to throw a lot more spy, a lot more of and that's what you can say about what they did against Clemson. Like, that's why Cade Klubnik wasn't able to run. Perk was everywhere. And every time, like, it was either stunts, twist, or I'm just going to spy. And, like, he had Klubnik, and Klubnik said it himself. He's like, I forgot what we were doing on offense because I was so concerned about what they were doing on defense. And against Lane Kiffin, he's going to take a lot of that out of your hands because he's going to go tempo, and whatever your base defense is, that's what you're going to have to run.
But that's what I'm saying.
There's
right?
no subbing in.
You can
Sean
go
Spears for 9 plays
correct.
And he gets 2 picks.
But you can go tempo until you can't go tempo.
Right.
Right? Like, that's why I was talking about the defense being able to stop the running game and not let them get in rhythm and stay in where they're trying to go, because if they get out of tempo, that's when you've seen Ole Miss struggle.
I believe they lead the nation in shot plays at 33% of their passes have gone for over 20 yards.
Perfect. I like that.
Yeah, I would love to know what the down and distance were on all of these shot plays, or the majority of these shot plays, because I would imagine too them staying ahead of the sticks is probably giving them the opportunity to throw these shot plays. And you wonder, hey, can this defense stop them? Can they stymie enough to them to make them play from behind the sticks a little bit, to make them get more past predictable downs? And at that point, I think the tempo doesn't really matter. And I don't think switching in and out is going to matter as much. It's going to be, hey, we have them in spots where we know what they're doing, and now we're able to kind of tee off and do what we want to do. I think that's going to be huge for LSU, because teams that do a lot of tempo, teams that do want to go fast, when they're running the ball, that matters to them. Getting back on the ball and being able to get to the next play, it matters a ton for them. But if you're making them do that without gaining a ton of yardage, it becomes really hard on them for them to make it hard for you to play them.
Right.
Yeah, because that's when they have to substitute, then you can substitute. And you're right, because a lot of people think of Lane Kiffin, and it's the shot plays that I just mentioned of throwing it over 20 yards and kind of taking the top off the defense. Lane Kiffin wants to run the football.
They can't take those shot plays without being able to run it.
And that's where I think Chambliss is a difference maker. It depends on kind of what he's able to do against LSU and how LSU wants to utilize Perk. If you want to keep him strictly watch the quarterback like you did against Trayvon Green for Arkansas, where it was he's the 4x100 anchor on his track team, and he's pre-qualified for the Olympics, and Perk hunted him down and changed the football game. If you just put him in that role, I think that kind of stifles what they want to do offensively. And you have Witt back, and I think you have West back.
You have West back, and you have Trey Green. I know it's on the defensive side, but Trey Green on the offensive side for LSU is back.
It helps some of the woes that you've had offensively. And even if you don't have West at 100%, what Keys has done,
great.
You can't tell it. Like he's been awesome.
You're going to see him play a lot more, even with West healthy.
Yeah, I think he's earned that right, and I think he's a little bit faster side to side. I don't know if he diagnoses it the same way that a fifth-year senior does, but his ability to step in that football game and lead the team in tackles was pretty impressive.
Correct. I'm pulling up LSU. I'm pulling up Ole Miss and Arkansas's.
That's the one thing you don't want to do if you're LSU is get into a track meet.
Correct. I'm looking at the numbers on what and where they went. So, like, obviously Chambliss had an unbelievable game. Threw for 353 and ran for 62. He was the leading rusher and the leading passer, right, in that game against Arkansas. Arkansas obviously not as talented defensively as LSU.
But LSU's ability on the back end, it can't be understated. Like, they haven't given up the big play like that. The one that they had was against Florida on a busted play that Chambliss kind of made the same play, but there was a holding call that brought it back. And that was Perk split out wide. It is confused if he was in cover 2, if it was man. He passed it off. Safety thought it was man coverage, and that's how you got a little, like, break contain, throw it down the sidelines for 80. And that would have been a 10-0 Florida game if not for a holding penalty. But that's the only bust you've had on LSU on the defensive side. You've had, like, you can't understate the importance of Delane, Halsey, Cooley, and now the emergence of P.J. Woodland. If you have to pick one person to go after, it'll be Woodland. But then if you want to do that, we'll counter with DJ Pickett.
Yeah. No, I mean, look, they have things that obviously are issues for LSU. I think LSU's strengths are more of an issue for Ole Miss than Ole Miss strengths is for LSU.
And you've seen Lane struggle more against LSU than he's had success. Like,
Correct.
he has the shootout with Jade, but LSU just, like, there was no defense.
Yeah, zero defense.
But that's why I say you don't want to get into a pissing contest with Lane, because he'd be all day. Like, if you want to start scoring points, Arkansas tried to do the same thing, and if you do that, he'll outscore you.
Yeah.
That's what the game he wants to play.
Well, if you look at Arkansas's numbers, Taylor Green had 115 yards rushing. Their running back, Mike Washington, was averaging 5 yards a carry as well.
Yeah.
Right? 13 carries for 65 yards. Like that, 5 yards a carry I'll take that all day.
Yeah, but that's with the contingent on having a running quarterback. They're looking at 2.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. But, I mean, I think.
I think if you're LSU right now, playing championship level football is going to have to contain. It's going to have bits and pieces of making stops when stops need to be made, which usually means I'm not going to sit up here and give you 50, right? So like that, I think that part about going back and forth with them or getting into a scoring match, that's not really how this team's built. I don't think this is how this team's looking. I think this defense is better than that, and I also think the offense is coming. I also think that this offense has much more of an ability to score than what they've shown through a month of the season so far. So with those two things kind of going together, I love the opportunity that they have to go out on the road and prove some of this stuff in a big-time matchup, and I can't wait to see what this thing looks like Friday afternoon.
I'm very excited to see if the offense has started to catch up to LSU's defense. Like LSU's offense, you don't have to be as great as LSU's defense right now, but if you just start to catch up, it's going to look a lot better this weekend, and it's going to be a big challenge for Ole Miss. Ask Mikey and Mitch questions. I know we have one. We had one or two in the in social medias, in the Twitter sphere, X sphere. Twitter. If we don't, I don't know if we have any in the chat, but if you have them, throw them in there. We got a few minutes before Brad Logan joins our show via audio.
We'll be on Zoom. I'll just put his picture up because I can't do a phone call.
Correct, that's fine.
Yeah, with the audio jack and then not have Jay Mitchell on.
Correct.
So he's gonna have to make a decision.
Correct. Well, I mean, just probably should tell him.
I did.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Did you get the question?
I'll just put it in the chat. We have one.
Okay.
We have 2.
There you go.
All right, you want to get these things rolling?
Let's go.
All right, let me make sure I'm not missing anyone because I do get fussed at when that happens. Cajun Curveball.
Hey.
Ask Mikey and Mitch, how would you feel / what would you do if you spent $135 for a standing room only ticket to watch the Saints vs. Seattle atrocity last weekend?
What would I do?
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't have spent $135 for standing room only ticket to watch that game. But if I did, I would look. The Superdome has upgraded their food choices and alcohol choices. So if I had the standing room only tickets and I saw that game, I would have taken full advantage of the food and alcohol
in Seattle.
Options.
Was that game?
Well, in Seattle too. In Seattle.
It was in Seattle. He went to Seattle for that.
Yeah, that's
in
tough.
Seattle, right? That's what
I would enjoy that as opposed
That's
to.
what I thought. I thought that game was in Seattle. I'll tell you this: if I had to guess too, if you spent $135 while you were in Seattle for that ball game, you probably just went for the experience more so than thinking that for sure they were going to come away with a win in that situation. So I think you take that $135, you take it in, albeit it was a lot of cheering for the team that you were not wearing the colors of. but I feel like you probably went there to get the experience of that field, of that stadium. I hope you got a good feel of it.
What is it called? Is it the fish? Is it the fish market? Did you go down there, catch a salmon?
Yeah, I asked him that when he brought it up last week because he was talking about that he was going to Seattle. I was like, why? He's like, well, he has friends up there. They had me. He's like, this is the perfect reason to go up there. It's like, might as well go to the fish market.
Did you catch a salmon?
Yeah, I got to go catch a
hard
fish.
to catch it.
Yeah.
Real slippery.
But I don't know. We'll get an answer, I'd imagine. But he's also, his answer to this query was he called the Saints ticket office and said he wants a refund.
I love that. I'm sure they did.
He probably learned from you.
I'm sure they didn't like that. Hey, you should threaten your job. It eventually works. My phone now is working.
But yeah, he called. He's like, "That's an atrocity. Y'all can't be putting that product on the field and expect people to pay for it. I want my money back."
That was a miserable game.
Andre, 36, up Jared
3,000.
B-Town in the house. He's one of New Iberia's finest.
Hey, the berry.
Hey, yeah. Give him a thumbs up. Get the firecrackers. Oh. I just missed one. I had one-man band. Where'd it go?
One-man band.
He's cooking right now. He's cooking. Flying in that thing, huh?
Ask Eminem. Do you think J Jizz, always in the chat. Appreciate you, brother. Do you think attacking and beating Sage Ryan is a part of the game plan for LSU this Saturday?
Attacking and I don't think that's directly part of the game plan as far as attacking Sage Ryan. I think that if he's in there, obviously, that's going to be
Lane Kiffin had glowing remarks about him.
Lane Kiffin talked about it as if you met a cute girl with a great personality.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it sounded like. Hey, he's a great team leader, smart.
Plays multiple positions. Funny.
Yeah. Listen, he was a 5-star coming out of high school. Obviously, he has the ability. Has not translated, especially while he was here. He is now there. Ole Miss lost three of their starting secondary players before the season even started. I think one of them was the guy that got shot in Memphis, and then 2 other guys were out. So he's playing out there out of necessity. I don't think he came in as a starter. He's playing there out of necessity. I believe LSU is going to attack whatever spot in the defense they feel like is the weakest point. If that's him, I'd imagine you see them attack him. But I don't think it's like, hey, this is what we're going to do every time he's out there no matter what.
I'm laughing because my answer to that was simply put, I think LSU would love for him to be standing wherever they feel like attacking all week.
Right.
I think they would enjoy that. They would enjoy that competition. That's what I think.
Yeah. Correct.
Ask
Because he does
him.
play all over, correct?
All over, multiple positions.
All over.
There you go.
Put him on offense.
Veteran.
Not a question, but a comment from Cameron Gaspard, Dustin B, and Cameron Gaspard. And then we have a question. Dustin B, Mikey and Mitch, 337 Legends. Cameron Gaspard, our offense has a lot more in the tank. Maybe I'm optimistic, but I truly believe Nuss has a chip on his shoulder. Nuss needs to sack up this weekend. Dustin B, enough with the bullshit. Sloan needs to cut him loose with the deep ball. Cameron Gaspard, Nuss pulling that meat out on the table. I think they're not holding back. They know they can't. Imagine we go in there and beat them by 14. Thoughts?
Okay. 14's aggressive. That'd be great.
That's meat on the table.
I would love that, right? I do think the offense is coming. I think they have a lot more in the tank. Like, I don't disagree with any of that. I think that we talked about this a lot. I think that a lot of that had to do with being held back. Had to do with him being hurt, Nuss, that is. But I do think you're going to see it look a lot better, a lot sharper this weekend. Interesting development happening this week is Landry Kiffin, Lane Kiffin's daughter, has decided that she's going to just be the star of the week. Hard launch on the relationship with Whit Weeks. Right before the show, the 30 for 30 for Lane Kiffin's coming out, which apparently she is very heavily
involved,
featured in that. So it's interesting dynamic. Is it mind games? Is she trying to take a page out of Lane Kiffin's book?
Huh?
Very opportunistic. Very opportunistic. Which I would hope LSU's defense is opportunistic this weekend with Witt right there in the middle.
She's trying to keep Witt out the playbook by doing a
She showed up this morning.
she left at 3:30 in the morning to show up to his door at 8 o'clock a.m.
Surprise him.
To surprise him and not tell him. I was like, that could have
So are
gone.
you saying she's working for Dad right now? Is that what you're saying?
So it
Is that
feels
what you're
like.
trying to say?
So it feels like.
I mean, if you ever tried to play even NCAA with a girl in the room, get off that thing.
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
Oh my goodness.
She's gonna be saying something like, "Isn't that enough?"
Yeah.
I don't even remember the question now.
Yeah, what was the question?
To this side.
It was just comments.
Oh, just comments. We hadn't got to the question yet.
Yeah. Then here's
LSU by 14 would be amazing. I mean, I'm not saying that's unattainable, but
That'd be a great
it's-
win. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. That'd be a damn good win.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be shocked.
That would be awesome. Ask Eminem, JJ's. The commentators last week shed a light on 29, Caden Durham, having trouble following the track of the run blocking, and it showed in the game. Are we one good rushing game away from 8, Juwan Johnson, being RB1?
Jared, I'm gonna let you go since you've been yelling at this for.
What you texting
3
about? What
weeks.
you doing over there?
I don't really know. Look, man, Kane's a good ball player. Like, let's not.
That's what I'm in that camp.
Yeah, like I don't think it's smart to sit here and say like he's a ball game away from losing his position. Kane's a good ball player, and he showed that early last year. I think there's some things maybe he's gotten away from in his game that he needs to get back onto, and that's obviously running with a lot more conviction. But nothing really pulls that out like some true competition, right? So if he's able to play this week, don't be surprised if you see some of the better parts of Caden come out again. He's a very good ball player. He's an experienced runner. I don't think he's just going to be going away. And honestly, too, there's another side of it with Juwan Johnson in terms of he has not played the position at this level, especially at this level, but from this position. And I don't know how long. I don't know if he did that as a youngster, but obviously he was a quarterback in high school. So with that coming, you have to know that there's a possibility of some getting dinged up that's possibly around the corner. It's not going to be just Juwan Johnson. I think that would be foolish to sit there and say, hey, you're going to get 70% of the carries and somebody else gets 30. I think it's really good that you can mix him in. I think it's really, really good that he can play as well. But I'd be crazy to think, I think anybody would be crazy to think that Caden Durham's going away just that quickly. I don't think that's going anywhere anytime soon.
Correct, and I think he talked about not following the track of the blocking scheme. Like, yeah, look, there's been some opportunities that he's probably missed some holes. But if you remember last year, part of what everybody was talking about was his ability to break tackles and the vision that he showed to be able to get outside and bust up some of these big runs, right? So he has the opportunity, the ability to do that. It feels like sometimes this year maybe he tries to do a little too much and just trying to generate something and generate a spark, which every athlete does that at some point. But he is a great player. He was very much relied on last year. They're going to very much rely on him through the course of this year. You can't say, oh, you're done, you've lost your job, because you need two guys back there. So you need him and Juwan Johnson. I think they both complement each other really well. So I don't think he's in jeopardy of losing his job. I think you're going to see him run. Hopefully it's this weekend and he's healthy enough to play, but I think you're going to see him run the football a lot better in the coming weeks. Lloyd?
Join the Zoom.
Oh, okay. So no more questions.
Oh, we'll get back to him.
Okay, we'll
Got
get
a
back to
couple
him.
more.
Appreciate the question. We're gonna jump right to Brad Logan, who is the host and I guess the host of Believe in Ole Miss Pod. We've had him on, he's a reoccurring guest of the show. Brad, we appreciate you coming on. I know we're not going to be able to see your pretty face, but we can hear your buttery voice. And so that's the only thing that matters. So we appreciate you joining us to talk everything Ole Miss. How you doing, man?
I appreciate you. Man, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on. A little bit of change.
Hold on,
Hold on one
this evening,
second.
but
One
happy
second.
to-
There we go.
We're producing. How you doing, brother? Lloyd?
No, he's not popping at all. There he is.
There he is.
Here we go. Am I coming through now?
Hey, we're
Yeah,
back.
there we
There we
are.
go. Welcome. Welcome to the show, dude.
Man, I appreciate you having me on. It's a great night. I'm in the rural sticks of Mississippi. I had something come up. Wasn't able to be in the studio tonight, but happy to talk to you guys about LSU at Ole Miss, and it's going to be a big one on Saturday.
Yeah, man, we're happy to have you. Appreciate your time. LSU Ole Miss has always been a fun game. Obviously, the last few years, you've had a lot of fireworks. Last year, obviously, a classic. This year, Ole Miss comes in undefeated. LSU goes to Ole Miss undefeated. There's a quarterback. I don't want to call it a quarterback controversy yet, but that's what I want to ask you. I want to start with that. Obviously, Trinidad Chambliss has been starting the last couple weeks. Seems like he's going to start again. Austin Simmons has been banged up. Is this Trinidad Chambliss starts this weekend? Is that because he has taken the job from Austin Simmons, or is that because Austin Simmons is not yet fully healthy and it's still a quarterback competition?
Well, let's go back before that. Earlier today, Chris Lowe and the folks at On3 reported that Trinidad Chambliss would start the game on Saturday. Later on, Lane Kiffin, in true Lane Kiffin fashion, goes on the Pat McAfee show and says that he's unaware of who the starting quarterback will be, and he's not privy to that information. So jokingly saying the quarterback hasn't been named. Look, I expect Trinidad Chambliss to start. Lane told us on Monday at the press conference that the only way that Austin Simmons would start is if he were 100%. And he said he is our starting quarterback at 100%. He intimated that. So I anticipate Chambliss to be the starting quarterback, and so we'll see what happens. I don't expect Austin Simmons to play maybe the following week, but if Ole Miss, regardless of what happens against LSU, we'll have to see what happens against Washington State. But let's just talk about Chambliss for a moment, a guy that played Division II last year, won the national championship, and now all of a sudden is the QB1 right now. I think let me stop there and say I believe that Austin Simmons is a starting quarterback until he's proven otherwise. I think he's going to be the number one quarterback in the dugout until he's unseated, and I don't think he'll lose his job due to an injury. So Chambliss goes. He's got a great story. Won the national championship, like I said, and has been incredible the last couple of games for Ole Miss.
Jared, you got one?
Yeah, I want to talk about the defensive side of the ball for Ole Miss. Obviously, it hasn't been what they've wanted to be, especially in a running game. Do you expect there to be any personnel changes, or is it they just need those guys who they've entrusted in these situations to just simply be better?
Yeah, Jared, before the year, we had a chance. Well, actually, let me say this. Pete Golding, the defense coordinator, went on a podcast earlier before the season even began and said that he did not anticipate the defensive line taking a big step back from last year. I mean, I'll be honest, guys, that's a pretty bold statement because you lose guys like Jared Ivey, J.J. Pegues, Walter Nolan, Princely Amamiellen. All those guys are off in the NFL. But honestly, Ole Miss has played pretty well on the defensive front. I've been very, pretty impressed with just how well they played with all those guys going off the NFL. I think if Ole Miss has an issue, it's going to be right now at linebacker play. They haven't gotten the play out of T.J. Daugherty that they would have liked. Now, Daugherty did strip the ball away from the Arkansas defender a couple of weeks ago, and Wyatt Williams picked it up and Ole Miss won the game. But up until that point, just hadn't played very well. Jaden Yates has been a bright spot at linebacker, but I think linebacker needs to be better on Saturday, frankly. I think LSU's going to run it. I mean, Durham can go, but they've got to be able to come up and make the tackles. And I think the secondary for Ole Miss is a question mark, Jared. I mean, just the pass, pass pro or what have you, they've not defended the pass as well as they should have this year. They've had a lot of transfers come in. Sage Ryan, as you guys are very well aware of, has not been quite as good as Ole Miss would have liked. I think, they go to the portal and they've got some guys come in. And it's just I think there's some question marks in that secondary. Wyatt Williams is a guy that come in. He's been playing a lot. And so Graves, another player that is transferred in a couple of years ago, he's been doing pretty good, but definitely is susceptible to the pass. And I think that's one thing Ole Miss is going to have to do is put pressure on Nussmeier. They cannot allow him to sit back in the pocket. Or I think he could have the potential to pick Ole Miss pretty good if that happens.
Offensively, Brad, last year obviously y'all had that was maybe Ole Miss's most talented team, top to bottom, that they may have ever had, right? I mean, you had first rounders, you had draft picks everywhere. You had a first round quarterback in Jackson Dart. You had two really good running backs. You had two really good receivers, and they're able to do everything that they kind of wanted to do, right? The playbook was open. Lane could get creative. This year, it feels like you had some unproven guys that kind of had to step up. How has the offense progressed? Obviously, the quarterback situation is what it is. You lose Trey Harris out on the outside. You lose your running backs. How has the progression of the offense been through the course of the year? Are you as confident in the offense this year as you have been in the past, or Lane Kiffin's offense in the past?
Yeah, I think there are a lot of pros and cons. I mean, last year, Ole Miss just frankly didn't have the running back room that they needed to make it to the playoff. And, we saw that when Henry Parrish Jr. went down in the Arkansas game. For whatever reason, Ulysses Bentley was not called upon, except maybe a couple times down in Baton Rouge. They had a walk-on wide receiver at running back and just no depth in the running back room. This year, they've got plenty of depth. You guys are familiar with Logan Diggs that transferred over. Has played a little sparingly because Kawan Lacey has had a bevy of the carries. He's been really good, the transfer out of Missouri. And then they've just had really good running back play so far because they've had the depth. Wide receivers, too, gentlemen, I think Ole Miss has maybe one of the best wide receiver rooms in the conference. And a lot of that is because of that transfer portal. You look at what Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin has been able to do. Trey Harris, you mentioned him, really stayed injured a lot. But Ole Miss has had a lot of receivers that have come into. Sean Stribling has looked really good for Ole Miss. But I think Harrison Wallace III has been phenomenal. And for whatever reason, he has a great relationship with both Dalton Simmons and Trinidad Chambliss, and has been really good. Caden Lee, a returning receiver. So that wide receiver room is really, really good. The tight end room is really good with Daquan Wright. So they've taken a step back maybe at quarterback for the most part, but not so much at running back. And I think they've done a really good job this year of filling that running back room. Receivers are really good. Offensive line's kind of feeling its way. Patrick Kudus, a transfer out of Arkansas, had a bit of a slow start. Yeah, but the good news is he's gotten a lot better over the last couple of games. And they're able to go to the portal, and they've got a couple of guys. We've got 2 bookend tackles in Jaden Williams that came back. Diego Pounds is back. So offensive line's kind of finding its way, and they'll be tested heavily. Probably the best test they've had all year coming up on Saturday. So we'll see what happens. But I think the offense is looking really good so far. But had some question marks at quarterback. But then again, with Chambliss playing as well as he is, the offense is big clicking. It's just been the secondary guys is what's really held Ole Miss up a lot. If you have any questions there,
Brad Lloyd's got one for you.
Yeah, I just wanted to hit on the quarterback one more time because obviously you're more well versed in the Ole Miss program and everybody that they've brought in through the transfer portal, regardless. But I knew about Austin Simmons. He graduates high school early, does all these things to get on campus. It feels like Lane Kiffin hand selected him. Don't know if he wants to give up on him yet. But when you see what Chambliss has done, has that been a surprise to y'all as well? And it become almost something that's too good to ignore at the moment. But I do agree that Austin Simmons, that ankle has him limited at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Lloyd, I want to go back to what Lane said on Monday, that Austin Simmons is a starting quarterback when he's 100%. So if he's not 100%, they have an incredible serviceable backup in Trinidad Chambliss. The question, obviously, is I think we're all asking is, let's say hypothetically Ole Miss wins 28-24, and Chambliss goes, 21-24 for 260. What do you do the following week? And so I think there are a lot of hypotheticals there, but as we stand right now, the best case scenario right now is you have 2 really good quarterbacks if you're Ole Miss.
Yeah.
The thing about Austin Simmons, what's interesting is his best play, most significant play, has all been last year because his significant snaps against Kentucky, he got injured. Georgia State, they did not, were not a very good team, and Ole Miss was able to beat them pretty handily. So I think the lights have not really shined really bright on him this year. And when they did, he kind of threw a couple picks. So he just needs to play. Yeah. That's the thing about Simmons. He has not had a lot of snaps. And so I think if Ole Miss, win or lose, you get him healthy, come back against Washington State before you get up for the stretch run of Georgia, Oklahoma, Carolina, Florida, Mississippi State. That's when things are really going to crank up. So I think you're just trying to get your way through the LSU game with Chambliss, win or lose, and you get things ready. And you see what you've got with Simmons at that point.
Jared.
So, look, this is a lot of conversation about the 2 quarterbacks, and obviously one of them's healthy, and the other one, we don't know how healthy he is. But
correct.
Lane Kiffin did make a comment about last year's game and saying that they didn't run the ball the way he felt they needed to and probably wanted to run it more. Do you think, especially with a quarterback that can run, if it is Chambliss that plays, who's put up 174, 175 yards through the 2 starts that he has, also, with there being sitting a quarterback that's not very happy behind him, how much do you think he's planning on leaning in the running game, and how much do you think he wants to involve the quarterback in it, knowing that this is almost kind of a must-win situation for them to kind of feel like they need to announce themselves where they want to be and kind of propel themselves forward for the rest of the year?
Jerry, that's a great question. I think it's a layered answer. So I'll start with this, and I'll add even another little caveat to this. I think this game is equally important to LSU.
Yep.
Because I think either team that comes out of this is in really good position for not only the conference, but their opportunity to make the college football playoff. And so you look at both these teams, and I think both these teams are going to be, giving everything they have. Now, I think Ole Miss, without question, is going to come out and try to solidify the run. I mean, the LSU defensive front's really good. I know there's an injury to one of the guys up front, so we'll see if he's able to go. But yeah, I mean, here's what I think. I think they're going to turn around and hand it to Quan Lacey, and they're going to say, get after it. And what I like about Lacey is very similar to Durham, is he always falls forward. He always tries to get that extra yard or two. Now, he only had 48 yards last week against Tulane, but a big component of Lacey is that his blocking ability. So if you do throw the football, he's able to chip block a lot. He's able to pick up backers that are coming. So, but to answer your question, yeah, they're going to try to solidify the run. Now, Chambliss can run, and now Simmons, obviously, with that banged-up leg, he was running before that. But I think Ole Miss is going to lean heavily on. They did a little bit of the option, the old school Nebraska option with Tommy Frazier. We saw a little bit of that, but I think you're going to see Chambliss sit back. And oddly enough, gentlemen, I think Ole Miss is going to try to throw to open up the run, and they're very good at that. The little out routes to Daquan Wright, the tight end, the slant routes to Caden Lee, the short intermediate routes to try to open up some running lanes. If they can get Quan Lacey going, I definitely think they're going to lean on him very, very heavily.
Brad, if you're watching this game and you talk on Monday and you say, okay, Ole Miss won the game, they won because I'm assuming you say because they ran the football and they controlled the clock and they controlled the game, they're able to do everything they want to do. If you look up and you say, okay, LSU wins the game, what is the reason? What is the matchup, or what is the reason that LSU wins it? If they win it,
I think if LSU scores 35, I think they probably win.
35.
Yeah, 35 or more. And the reason I say that, I know y'all are kind of stepping back, but this game's crazy.
Yep.
This LSU Ole Miss game's crazy. I mean, Ole Miss led the entire game last year. Dropped a wide open touchdown pass to open the game.
Yep.
And they still find a way to win the game. So I don't know how many points they scored in the fourth quarter and overtime, but I mean, I think 35, 31 to 35 LSU, they're probably, that gets in the win. I just think that Ole Miss defensive secondary, there were a lot of Tulane receivers open that Jake Resloff couldn't hit.
Yeah.
And Nussmeier's going to hit those receivers.
Yeah.
So I think that's the recipe for success for LSU, is to go up top, utilize those big receivers. Barry Brown is a beast.
Yep.
And I think he and Nussmeier, from what I've seen, have a pretty good relationship. And here's a problem too: LSU's probably got the best secondary in the nation.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be very difficult on Chambliss. So Ole Miss is, we saw Simmons come in and throw a couple of picks over the last couple of weeks. So Chambliss has to protect the football. And I mean, this is cliche 101, but my goodness, it really goes back to it. The team that doesn't turn it over has a huge advantage. And I know it's cliche, but it really plays into the factor here because of how good that secondary is. Ole Miss has to use the middle of the field. They've got to use their tight ends. They've got to hit the backs out of the backfield when they're throwing the football, because once again, they've got to open up those passing lanes in order to open up those running lanes. And so I think that's a key component for Ole Miss.
Brad, whenever you have quarterbacks that have, look, I know Chambliss has had some experience, but he hasn't had a ton of experience in the SEC. Obviously, Austin Simmons, he's a young guy, and he's kind of getting his feet wet. You just said he has to play. How important is it for the offense, Ole Miss's offense? Lane Kiffin likes to go a lot up tempo a lot. He likes to play fast, but to do that, you have to stay above the chains or ahead of the chains, and you got to kind of stay in rhythm. How important is it for Chambliss and the offense to be able to establish that early and kind of get him in a rhythm, being that he hasn't been in the SEC all that long?
Well, I think what's interesting here is we're seeing Ole Miss, a team that you say likes to go fast, but what we saw is once they get the lead, I mean, they can sit on it with the best of them.
Right.
And with kickers, by the way, is this Ramos' 75th year as coach for LSU?
1 year too long, it feels like. He's not quite making them as much as he used to.
You can say that. I raised you Logan Diggs.
But well, yeah, I hear you. Lucas Carnero, the transfer out of Western Kentucky, is an incredible place kicker. He's like I think he's 8 for 9, and the one miss he hit the upright. So he's been phenomenal. And anytime you get inside the 40, I mean, it feels like you're in field goal range. So I think if Ole Miss can't get the lead, especially late in the fourth quarter, you're going to see them try to sit on it a little bit and try to control the clock. But I do think coming out, if Ole Miss gets the football, I think you got it. I mean, they're going to go fast as they can. But the key for Lane is what we've seen over the years is he has really changed. You know, going back, I forget the stats, but like him going for it on fourth down has dropped dramatically. And I think a lot of that is just as a growth as a head coach, understanding your roster, understanding the flow of the game, but most importantly, having a really good field goal kicker. And having that and having Oscar Bird in your back pocket as a punter who can turn the field quickly. Had one punt last week for 55 yards. It was all in the air. And interesting story, guys. Oscar Bird, the punter for Ole Miss, on the postgame show, they asked him, welcome to Ole Miss, whatever, and, what all games have you been to? He says, I've never been to a game before. And they said, what? They said, yeah, this is the first game I've ever kicked in, which means it's the first game I've ever been to in my life. So
wow.
This is only Oscar Bird's fourth game he's ever been to.
That's crazy.
He's a phenomenal kicker. So special teams, Ole Miss has done a really good job with that. But yeah, I'm interested to see, how these teams match up. I mean, it's been a fun series. And guys, we can talk about the days that Ed Ogeron, whether it be at LSU or whether at Ole Miss, the days of the Billy Cannon run, the David Brown dot kick back in '86, it went right or left. And I mean, this series has so many crazy finishes. You even date back to the clock game of Les Miles back in '07.
Yep. And
then you date back to the kick by Andrew Ritter back in '14. You got the LSU taking a knee when they're up 56-3 or whatever it was. I mean, this series is just insane. And, I'm expecting all kinds of crazy things happening on Saturday.
Jared.
Yeah, so, speaking of the insanity, obviously it's a rivalry game. Lane's kind of poked fun but not really much fun. He's kind of serious at the same time. He's talked about how many times he's having to go down to Death Valley and play this game at night. Is there anything going on around the stadium, whether it's the student body, the fan base, and or the team, that's trying to make sure that this atmosphere is as charged as it possibly can be for this game?
Well, anytime LSU and Ole Miss play, it's going to be juiced. And I think what you'll see is most people, I say most people, maybe there are a couple people that didn't come last week to Tulane that they'll make the track from Jackson or the coast up to see the game against LSU on Saturday. I don't think it matters if it's a game at 11, 2:30, or 6. It's going to be a charged and juiced crowd, and I expect an incredible atmosphere. And LSU always travels to Oxford. And LSU fans, and I know they're probably yelling at me, but, you talk about how much, thank God for Mississippi if you live in Louisiana. And, I get all that. The jokes are kind of right themselves, but you love it. You love the Grove. You love everybody, the sights and the sounds, the smells. You love it. So just embrace it. And thank goodness that LSU and Ole Miss are common opponents now.
No doubt.
That they're one of each, and we can continue this rivalry between LSU and Ole Miss, because there are no better trips in the world than for me to be able to cover a game down in Baton Rouge. It is an incredible atmosphere, and I expect a crazy atmosphere on Saturday.
Speaking of, I guess the juice around this game and the publication of it all, you have – can there be too much of it, whether it be Lane Kiffin's daughter, Landry Kiffin, or now –
Yeah, is that a plant? You think Lane said, hey, we're going to drop this. This is all planned. We're going to create more distraction for Whit Weeks. Think that's a plant?
Sounds like sounds like her
I do not. Look, all right, okay, guys. This is going to sound like old man yelling at a cloud. But I didn't like that question in the Wednesday press availability. We obviously don't ask that
Correct.
On Monday or Sunday meeting. Look, I just think personal lives are off limits.
Correct.
I think that's speculative news Hollywood stuff, and I just don't think that's, even if Lane is very online and the TikTok verse and whatever all that stuff is, I get it. I'm not sure that's a question that you ask, but. To answer your question, I do not. He answered it perfectly.
Yeah.
Whit Weeks. We saw the unfiltered SEC thing. And if you don't like the Weeks and the Weeks family, then something's wrong with you.
Correct.
I mean, they're incredible folks. And so I always like to see good people win, and they're really, really good people. So, but no, I think you've got two young people that are very successful that are hanging out, and that's all it is.
No doubt. No,
I was going to ask more so of the publication of the documentary about Lane Kiffin, him having to answer questions like you just referred to. Is this almost so much of a distraction, or is it more of a positive for Ole Miss, where he wants a night game? You can tell he's trying to sell the program. He's been having to sell the program ever since he got there, and you've seen Ole Miss games at night. They're electric, but it feels like Ole Miss still doesn't get the respect that maybe they deserve. He mentioned the offhand comment about when we go to Georgia, that'll be at night. We play LSU at home, of course, that's 2:30. But now he has the documentary coming out. He's on Pat McAfee. He's on Feinbaum. He's just been everywhere, so I don't know. He'll never say no to an interview, but I just didn't know if that was too much leading into the game.
You know, we've covered Lane. This is his 5th year. And anybody else, you might say yes. But if he showed up on Howard Stern Saturday morning before the game, it wouldn't be a distraction. It's just not. I mean, he's all over the place. And, like, when we get him on Monday at lunch and then after the games and Sunday for the local media call, it's like two different people that you heard on Pat McAfee today. The documentary, it aired, I think, at 6 o'clock tonight. We were able to see it maybe a week or so ago, and it's really good. And, you know, it was one of those deals to where he was very, very not like he's the media. He's very much more like his online self. And so, but yeah, absolutely not a distraction. I think it was an infomercial for Ole Miss for the most part. And it talked about Lane and Tennessee and Oakland and all of his stops at USC and Alabama. But at the end, it really brought it home for Ole Miss fans, talking about with his family and how much he loved Oxford. And it was a nice deal for Ole Miss. And no, not a distraction. No, not with this guy.
Jay.
I'm about to say, with the way things have gone for him through his career, look, I was one that my freshman year coming into college, I got to play with one Jamarcus Russell. Obviously, Jamarcus goes to Oakland while Lane is there. That does not work out at all. And I guess through his career, it's been much malign, or if you want to call it malign, but there's been a lot of smoke wherever he's gone. Getting to Oxford and seeing him in the way he's talked about Ole Miss and the community and everything there and how it's changed him, have you been able to see that change over the time that he's been there from the day he showed up to present-day Lane Kiffin?
Yeah, that's a fantastic question and a great observation. Yes, I mean, you see Lane Kiffin getting chewed out by Nick Saban. And we heard, obviously, in the press conference, they said, Coach, it appears that you and Lane were having a confrontation on the sideline, and Saban very quickly briefed back, no, that was just ASS shooting. And so, I think situations like that, learning under Pete Carroll, all he learned under Lane Kiffin. But here's the deal, guys. What he learned under his dad.
Yeah.
Tennessee, USC, and now at Ole Miss. And then his dad passed.
Yeah.
He's a completely different guy. And I think I'm not one that thinks he stays at Ole Miss forever. I don't know where his next stop is. But I do know this. He's very happy in Oxford. He's happy he has his family around him. He's very tied into his faith. He is completely given up alcohol, and he's very focused and laser focused on his health. And I think what Ryan McGee, who was the interviewer in the documentary, I had him on my podcast, and he basically said, he told me, he says, he believes that Lane is like he is because he wants to be the best self to represent his dad.
Yeah.
And he said to me that Lane told him that if he wants people to talk about him just a smidge of how they talk about his dad. And so I think a lot of that introspective, kind of looking inside him, understanding how you act and how you treat people. And I think that's how that has made him a success down the road. And I think throughout his career, he'll lean on that. And I think Lane Kiffin has always been a great coach. But I think now he's kind of putting it all together. Yeah. And he's a really good football coach. It's been great for Ole Miss.
And look, I'm a Lane Kiffin fan. I know we all in this room and on the show enjoy Lane Kiffin. You know, I don't want to say I root for him from afar. Obviously, when he's playing LSU, I hope they don't win. But he's always entertaining. It's awesome to see his progression in life. And he's an easy guy to root for. He's funny. He's kind of he's very self-aware, and he's very aware of kind of the current day and current situations. And so we wish him nothing but the best, and I think it's really good that he's got all this publicity and all this positive publicity after everything that he had to go through in his younger days. So
I want to see him in Baton Rouge.
yeah, I wouldn't hate that at some point. We'll see. But Logan, man, we appreciate your time. Next time we'll have you on, we'll be able to see you. We'll be able to talk video to video. But we appreciate you taking the time and talking football and talking Ole Miss. And enjoy the game this weekend. And we'll obviously be watching it, but we'll have you on again here later on. Appreciate you.
Awesome. Thank you, gentlemen.
Yep. Thank you. The lane train is chugging along. A lot of momentum.
He's
on the
the story.
train.
He always is the story.
Yeah, but it's the story for good stuff now.
Oh, I don't. Yeah, I mean, for better or worse.
Well, it don't matter, dude. Like him, love him or hate him, he's
Polarizing.
Like him, love him or hate him, he's good for college.
No doubt.
He does stuff and people watch. And it doesn't matter if you look at him as like a soap opera, or if you look at him as someone that you generally love because of who he is, and the things that he does. That is what it is. But yeah, man, he's good for the sport.
No doubt.
Shocking to hear how not, I guess, in support of how much they're still on the Austin Simmons train. I guess I'll put it that way. I don't
know if they are as much on the Austin Simmons train right now as they're leading on. I think they have to say that.
That's what it felt like to me.
That they have to say it.
Yes.
I agree.
Because they put a lot of eggs in that basket.
I think he's good. I think he could, but
you can't
ignore what you see. You know?
He's been better.
You can't ignore what you see.
You got to remember this too. He's also a young guy, right? So he's got plenty time to develop. And while you have a guy who has some college ball experience, obviously it's not at this level, right? But has some college ball experience that's playing the way he is, knowing what's at stake and what's ahead. And knowing, too, if you go back and look at their schedule, they have this game, then they have a bye week, and then they have a gauntlet of away games when they start to really get into the SEC schedule. If you're going to play again, we need you healthy, right? And if we put you out here in a situation where you're not healthy this week and it costs us a win, well, we don't have many wins we can just be kind of throwing away. So I think a lot of that stuff is kind of wrapped up in the same situation, and you're kind of seeing it play out right now. But 100%, like I said, if they tell you they're waiting for him to be 100% to play, well, they're riding that hot hand, and they're riding whoever's playing well right now. I think that's pretty easy to see.
Correct. Did he redshirt last year?
Yes.
Austin Simmons did redshirt? Because I was going to say, if he did.
No, I feel like he did, yeah.
If he didn't redshirt last year. No, he's a sophomore. Does it say redshirt sophomore? Doesn't say redshirt.
Yeah, it says redshirt sophomore.
Does it? Yeah. Oh, not on ESPN. Okay, never mind. I was gonna say because if he didn't redshirt and he's only played a few games, maybe
redshirt his freshman year.
Oh, so 2 years ago when he enrolled early.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
2 years early.
Yeah.
2 years early.
He's 19 and it's his third year in college.
Yeah, he was on campus at 17. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, he's young. He's
technically his fourth year.
6'4", 215. No,
third year.
Yeah.
Third, yeah. He showed up the same year as Walker, correct?
I don't know that answer.
23?
I think he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he did.
But yeah, look, you can't ignore what Chambliss is doing. You just can't. And if he continues to do that, he's going to be your guy.
Yeah, that's why I was surprised to hear him, because it does feel like they don't want to lose, I guess, the confidence of Simmons and be but the national narrative around Chambliss is totally different than
it's going to look this weekend is going to be a big game for him, because this is going to be his toughest test, right? He has got a defense that's going to be able to potentially combat what makes him good, his comfort zone, right? Yeah, he can throw the football, but his comfort zone is being able to run whenever he needs to run. We'll see what happens, and it's going to be a good matchup. It's always electric. There's always crazy things that happen. I'm looking forward to it.
The last time they were both playing undefeated was Halloween night in Cannon Blast.
Really?
Yeah. Well, that's per Mincy, so take it
Well,
for
yeah,
what
I
it's
mean,
worth.
this used to be a later during the season type game
Yeah.
anyway, so
Yeah,
I'm
you're
not
right.
surprised at that at all.
You're right. Well, we'll see what happens. We have any more questions?
We did. Hold
Okay.
on, let me get back to him.
A few more, and then we'll go night.
Night. There's one left. Okay, here we go. One is a separate topic that I think is important because we do love both sports. Where'd it go? Ask him an M. Dustin B 337. Are y'all going to be mixing in the Ryder Cup with football this weekend?
Yes. I will be.
I'm not as fired up for the Ryder Cup as I usually am.
Why?
Just don't.
Why not?
I don't know.
I am. Because you haven't been playing golf. That's why.
No,
I'm fired up for it. I'm always fired up for the Ryder Cup.
Well, I'll tell you what it is. The chemistry from the European side is so much better.
But it's always that way.
I know.
It's always that way.
It just makes you feel bad for.
But you don't know. You don't know how. I mean, it looks like from the outside.
Even when they
you get
won,
on
it
there-
wasn't that fun.
Huh?
Even when they won, it just doesn't.
Maybe when you get on the when you get on the course, it's a little bit.
Yeah, but I'm just saying the Euros have so much pride in this, and they have so much chemistry and so much togetherness. And America's like, we can't even figure out who the fuck we're gonna pull on the team.
Well, we'll see. I'm fired up for it.
If
I'll
Scotty
be
Scheffler
locked.
Could play in every match, then I would do that.
I'm gonna be. Yeah.
I'd
I'm
bring
gonna be
Tiger
locked
back.
in on it. I mean, look, you got Sam Burns playing, which is great. That should give a lot of LSU eyes on it. If you're a golf fan, I'm gonna be very much locked in on Friday, and then on Saturday, it's gonna take up a lot of the morning. But there's a lot of good college football games on. You know what I mean? So it's like, how do we mix it in? I don't have a ton of TVs to be able to just, do that.
I think I'd be more excited if Keegan was actually playing.
Do you think that was the right decision for him? I think it was the safest decision.
Yeah, I know. That's what I don't like it. Would you rather have Keegan or Harris English? Or Ben Griffin or Russell Henley?
See, that's the one.
Cam.
Ben Griffin, I know he's been playing great. But, like,
None of these people move the meter for me. There's no personality on any of this team.
DeChambeau's got something.
He's a nerd.
I like DeChambeau.
He's autistic.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Like Cam Young, like at least they didn't pick some of like the absolute fucking cocksuckers that the Team USA
Just can't lay on it?
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Like at
I
least
was
there's
gonna
none
say.
of those guys. Like even, but just the way that, like Scotty's awesome. JT has been playing well, but you've seen the emotion in the Ryder Cup, so I get that. Xander Schauffele treats the media like shit. Colin Morikawa treats the media like shit. Harris English don't know who you are.
Georgia guy.
Oh, Patrick Cantley, here he is.
I knew he was in there.
Yeah, he won't wear a hat unless you pay him. Like,
But he plays well in the Ryder Cup.
no, he doesn't. Like, this team sucks. JJ Spawn, good luck, brother. You could putt the eyes out of it.
Well, he's got the lab putter. Very happy. that he's in there.
Non-conforming. This team, the uniforms suck.
I'm excited. Okay, I'm excited to watch it. I will
How
be
you
mixing
feel
it
about
in.
it, Lloyd?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So to answer your question, Lloyd's not mixing it in. I will be mixing it in.
No, I'll watch it, and
No,
I
you're
want
not.
Team USA to win.
You're not gonna watch it.
I am. Oh, I don't have. I've been watching Ryder Cup since before you picked up a golf club.
You ain't watching it.
I am, but I won't be surprised if they lose. First time they lost on American soil is what it feels like it's hyping up to be because, Team Europe traveled. They're taking it over. And it feels like Bethpage Black, it doesn't really have the American.
Teeth. It does have the teeth.
It's not the hardest course in the world.
No.
It's long, which is good for America.
Yep.
But I just feel like they take this more seriously than Team USA does. If you're trying to get, he didn't even wear a hat in the picture. Like,
All right. Next question.
what happened to your country?
Next question.
For honor, for glory. Whatever. I hope they lose. Figure it out.
They're working on it. I think
They're
it's gonna
not.
be great. I think it's gonna be great.
But now, if you had Keegan, I love that pick. But I mean, I miss the days of like, Spieth, what happened to your golf game?
Yeah.
At least it's not Patrick Reed.
True. It's a Baton Rouge guy too.
Yeah, sure he lied about that. Probably from Bruley.
Next question.
Next question.
Ask Eminem. If we could get 5 to 7 runs a game from run like scrambles, including my God, this is offense could do a lot more. He could have 4 or 5 of easy field to gain because they'll have to respect it.
You did this on purpose, and you didn't train. Yes, I know what he's trying to say.
We need
if Nussmeier could run 4 to what is he? How many times?
5 to 8.
5 to 8 times a game. Move the chains. It would make our offense better. Is that the question?
I'm praying to God Nuss comes out clicking on all cylinders. The offense wants to shut the narratives down. Nuss runs 5 to 8 times when needed and carves that ugly-ass defense up. He's back in the Heisman conversation.
I do think that if he does have a good game, he's right back in the mix because John Mateer's out. So that I think John Mateer's Heisman chances are gone. You have the 2 quarterbacks, Dante Moore and your favorite guy, Drew Aller, playing against each other in a big game. So I think whoever wins that game is going to raise their Heisman odds. But, yeah, I think if Nuss comes out there, clicking all cylinders, gets in rhythm, and, yeah, I do believe if he has to take the ball and pull it either in the zone reads or get out of the pocket and kind of run for a couple first downs. That'd have to be long runs. I think that is definitely going to help the offense be a lot more successful.
I love that this is still a conversation.
What?
We said the same thing for a year and a half
100%. 100%.
But it sounds like it's not going to happen.
He's been hurt. We just agreed on earlier in the week that it's because he's been hurt, and I bet you that was a big reason why. Because early in the season he ran a little bit more, not a lot, a little bit more.
I'll say it like this: not only is it a thing that's possibly for this ball game, I think if Nuss starts pulling the ball down 5 to 6 to 5 to 8 times a game, it becomes a different outlook on this entire offense for the rest of the year.
Yes.
I think if that's something that he adds into the game, I think it becomes completely different about how you defend this offense. And that part of his game, if he unlocks that part of his game, I think it takes the offense to a completely different level. So I don't think that has something to do with just this game. I think that's something that could be a story to watch the entire rest of the year if he's able to start doing that.
Correct. Lloyd?
At some point you have to give up on it. In terms of
give up on what?
Give up.
You don't, because it's the growth of a quarterback. That's like saying you got to give up on the quarterback actually getting to his 3rd read at some point. You don't. Is he going to grow? Is he going to continue to keep growing? One, we already said it's very possible that a lot of the reason why he hasn't done it a month into the season is because of what the injury situation was. If he's starting to get to a healthier place, he's probably willing to start putting his body at risk a little bit more. So I think that that's probably something on the mind already. And once again, that is part of why he came back to school. Not only to cut away and get away from the interceptions that didn't make sense, but it's also to continue to keep adding to his game. So I do think that that's something that you can go forward, and I don't think at all you need to sit here and say, well, do we need to give up on it? I don't at all. He's not Jared Goff in the pocket.
Yeah, agreed.
I know that's the frustrating part. As you see it when he does it, he is extremely athletic. It's just something that's not ingrained in his brain.
For sure. But that doesn't mean he can't do it.
I know. That's the frustrating part.
I know. But
that doesn't mean you give up on it.
Yeah, that too. Don't give up on it.
What does "don't give up on it" mean?
You just said that. It's time to give up on it.
So you tell me.
I'm giving up on the thought that he's going to do it. It's like they're calling designed runs for him.
They shouldn't call design
runs. We're not
runs.
asking for him to call design runs. We've never sat here and said you need to call design runs. If you could do those types of things in the way that Joe Burrow did it, right? Leaving the pocket, breaking your back on 3rd and 6 and getting 8. That's a difference. We don't need a designed run. I don't need you to be part of the design. It's when it breaks down and understanding I can go get this first down myself. If he's able to add just that, we don't need it. We don't need design runs. If we're able to add just that into the game, it's completely different because now when we have these design runs, they're going to sit here and think to themselves too, like, he may pull it. We just watched him do it on 3rd and 6. So why won't he do it now? You don't actually need him to be a part of the design runs. It just needs to be a part of the game, period.
Yep. Next.
Fonz Ferrelli. Ask him. Is this game kind of a bad time to be trying out at right tackle? Have we given someone more run last game? They tried to do that with DJ Chester, but unfortunate penalty.
I just don't think DJ Chester's a tackle. But yeah, I mean, you don't want to just throw someone out there for the first time in this game because, as Logan said, their front 7 or their front 4 has been pretty good this year. So you don't want to just throw somebody out there that hasn't gotten the reps, even though Weston Davis hasn't been as good as you'd want him to be. He's at least been out there and he's got the experience so far this year. I I hope he figures it out. But, yeah, they're going to have to give him some help, I would imagine. If it's a struggle, I wouldn't be shocked if you saw somebody else. But you're not going to just throw somebody out there just to say, hey, go do it.
No, I mean, yeah. But in some worlds, people will argue that
can't be worse.
Yeah,
I think it could be.
Yeah,
I mean, look. At the end of the day, look, there's different ways of helping, right? Like if we can't find help if we can't get it done by ourselves, we can get help from the inside. So that's in terms of like double teams. We can also chip from the backfield.
Right.
We can also crack on receivers coming down so like there's ways, just things you can do if you truly feel that you need to. And I think if you watch through the game and if they're not doing those things, I think it's fair to say that they don't feel the same way about it that maybe the outside looking in does. So if you want to think about it, that I think when you watch the game, I don't think this is one where they're going to say, hey, let's run him out there, even though run him, meaning like not Weston Davis, let's run someone out there who doesn't really have the experience of being out there. But if you watch the game and it's Weston Davis and you're not seeing these different ways to help, I think it's fair to sit here and say that they're not looking at it the same way that the outside world looking in is.
Correct. One more? Or does it?
Last one. Oh, at the buzzer. Ask him then, Chance Babin. How big is it for LSU baseball if Skeens wins the Cy Young?
For LSU baseball, I mean, obviously great, but I think it's bigger for Skeens, just because it's much deserved. It's nice that LSU can say we have a Cy Young winner. I think what's bigger for LSU is the success of the pitchers that they've had over the last few years, more so than the success of just one.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's another feather in the cap, another notch on the belt, but you still have Aaron Nola running around. You still have Kevin Gausman running around, who's been firmly planted in that AL Cy Young award-winning contest for the last few years. You got guys that have come through this program who are doing stellar things in the league right now, so it's not like Paul Skeens is the one shining tool that's up there. It'd be great for them, right? They're going to pub it, and as they should, but there's multiple examples up there. He'll just be the latest and the greatest part of it, if you will.
At the buzzer. Rock City Research at Rock City HD on Twitter. How are we sure that the LSU defense is good when they technically haven't been tested yet either? Not being negative, I hope they're elite. I'm just asking.
How are we sure? I mean, I guess you're not sure. You just go based off what you've seen. Yeah, use your eyes. Like, they're not out of position. They're playing fast. They're making tackles. They're taking the ball away. They're doing everything that they haven't done in the past, the last few years. So, in my opinion, that makes them good.
Yeah, I would agree with a lot of that. You look at the yardage, you look at the points given up and or not given up, however you want to look at it. I think all those things matter in terms of trying to figure out if a team is good or if they're not. It's not necessarily about just the teams that they're playing against, but it's also how they're playing in those games, right? You have 5 interceptions, something they've never done since I think like the 19-something. You've started the season with 4 straight 10 points or less games given up. You haven't done that since 2006. There's multiple things that they've done that you haven't seen in Tiger Stadium or in purple and gold in a long time, and there's been some great defenses here. So that alone, those things alone would kind of, and you can also sit here and say too, they're doing this in a time where offensive football is way more prevalent than it was in the past. So I think if you put all those things together, you're like, obviously we haven't seen them against the highest of octane offenses out there, but there's crumbs that have been left that would lead you to this is a damn good defense, and I expect it to continue going forward.
Correct. All right, is that it for Ask Mikey and Mitch?
That is it.
We appreciate the questions, as always. We have our seggies to get to. Lloyd?
Yes.
Mistake of the day.
I have a mistake of the day. I don't know if you saw this. This is not the mistake of the day, but the Rapture came and went.
Yeah, we're all here. Nobody left.
Well, there was a I guess I'll show you this just to keep the people so you don't have to worry anymore.
I actually forgot about the Rapture.
There was a gathering for the Rapture. Let's see if I can find it. Where a huge community got together, went into the woods.
I can only imagine what this community looked like.
They were excited. They all thought they were going to get called up.
You think they're on mushrooms and drugs and stuff?
I think they're high on faith. And I wonder what the walk back was. Damn, not a single one of us.
We didn't make it.
But if that was, I can't find it. But if that wasn't the Rapture, maybe this was the Rapture. As there has been a sighting August 30th. Could have got the date wrong.
Sasquatch.
Oh,
Yeti.
Even better.
UFO.
We're back.
UFOs are back.
Oh, crazy.
I mean, that's as clean as one I've ever seen.
That looks weird. Definitely an unidentified flying object.
That could be the Rapture.
Part of it. And nobody deserved to go up. Maybe
Yeah,
that's it.
they scouted the area.
That's it. Maybe they looked around and said, nope, nope.
Nope, not here.
We don't see anybody worthy of this.
Nope,
so we're out.
Somewhere else. But I love to get a good UFO sighting.
Yeah, I love that.
Been
So is
about
that
a
your
month.
mistake of the day? Or?
Yeah, but the mistake of the day is that nobody got pulled up by the Rapture and the aliens are back.
Yeah, they're back. They're back. They never left. They've been around.
Yeah, they're hanging out.
No doubt.
Just probing.
You got a curtain
Just
call?
to see. Of course. As much as I said, I will show you this because we talked about him a little bit earlier. Perfect guy. Coach O doesn't really have a job. Wants to get back into coaching, but I do want to show the video of him at the Ryder Cup, and this dovetails into what Colin Morikawa said at his media event today, because it is saddening.
Saddening?
Sad. But Kurt called a Coach O for trying. He knows when there's a lack of enthusiasm.
Hey,
He knows how to get.
he's a
the people
motivator.
Loud and clear now. Loud and proud, baby. Here we go. 3. USA! 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 USA!
Can I ask you a question? How many of those fans
know who he is.
know who he is? Go Tigers.
Go Tigers! Let's go!
He's still rocking it. How many guys? I mean, that's my question.
Awesome.
How many of those fans knew who he was?
None.
I don't think many.
What's the collective age of this fan group? 65. That's the
Probably.
problem. Nobody can afford to go.
Probably. Good for him, though. Good for him.
And that leads me to this.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
It's okay. Colin Morikawa is unimpressed with the New York crowd, at least so far. And here's his quote. I'll be honest, I think it's kind of tame so far. Tuesday and Wednesday, I know tomorrow is going to be pretty bad, but I hope Friday is just absolute chaos. I'm all for it. I think it feeds into who we are and the American players and the American team. We want it. Then asked which Ryder Cup teammate would like to see to lose their emotions in a good way. I'd love to see Cam Young throw a fist pump.
Oh,
Fire.
okay. A fist pump.
There's
Nice.
They don't care.
Yeah, you hate that. You hate that. I think it's gonna be great. I think it's gonna be great, Lloyd.
USA.
Well, listen, it's a practice. It's early. It's like this isn't. You don't have anybody playing or competing. It's not. You can't judge that right now. You know, it's a Wednesday or Tuesday, whenever that was. Wait till Friday when it starts.
Mm-hmm.
All right. My curtain call is the last week of the regular season for Major League Baseball. There's a lot of things that happened in last week. One, if you're out of the postseason and you've been eliminated, there's numbers to get, there's milestones to be had, and there's a lot of optimism to go into the offseason and be able to enjoy your offseason, right? You have playoff races happening. You have races for the home run race, the MVP race, Cy Young race. All of those things are all coming down to the wire right now this week. One of those guys, who we've been following obviously very closely, is Paul Skeens. We've talked about it throughout the course of the year. Is he going to be able to have a sub-2 ERA? Is he going to win the Cy Young? He had his last start of the season tonight. He went 6 innings, gave up 4 hits, no runs, no walks, 7 strikeouts to bring his season ERA down to 1.97. 216 strikeouts and 187 2/3 innings. I think he's locked up the Cy Young. Congratulations to Paul Skeens. Add another trophy to the mantle. He has a career sub-2 ERA right now, and that's in basically 2 full seasons of baseball. And he just continues to get better and better, and everything he does is he never ceases to amaze me. So, curtain call to Paul Skeens, sub-2 ERA for this season. pretty much locks up the Cy Young. Jay?
I like it. I got so I'm gonna go a little bit different from. This is kind of the first time I've done something like this, but I'll put this one out there. We had a lot of talk about Lane Kiffin today and how good he is for college football in the game. If you've been missing it, there's been one man that's been he's been winning on the recruiting trail without even actually being on the trail lately. Take a look if you get a chance. Go watch some of the stuff that's been out about Fran Brown, who's the head coach of Syracuse. That is an awesome dude, and it's very easy to see why that team plays the way it does, why they've done the things they've done, and why they pretty much seem just fearless in how they go about things, because that's an awesome coach to play for. He is about as straight up as they get, and it's pretty cool to see somebody that refreshing and someone that just very open about how he goes about things, and I think he's winning at the recruiting trail right now without even actually having to go in someone's house. So I give Fran Brown a curtain call for how he's going about his business and what he's done and how he's putting a team like Syracuse on the map.
Also, staying on the Syracuse conversation, Ricky Collins is now the starter. I'm pretty sure that was announced.
Yes, he is.
Right? So Ricky Collins, obviously, he
I saw that somewhere.
transferred from LSU, gets the opportunity to start and got his first opportunity to start in college.
One more pseudo curtain call.
I'll tune into that just to see.
The tale is old.
Hey, he looks good, doesn't he?
Tale as old as time.
He ain't never looked like that.
That's good.
That's never been part of this tale, right there. I mean, that looks like a different dude. We'll see if he can stay healthy. See what happens.
Finally,
then they can go sell the Saints and the Pelicans to Todd Graves.
Oh yeah, sure. How many years have you been in the league?
5.
This will be year 5 or 6. One of the two.
Finally figured out it feels good to feel good.
Yeah, that's it. Hey, 24. Sometimes you gotta get a little older to figure it out. Mm-hmm. But he looks good. We'll see what happens.
Feels good to feel good.
That's it. All right, that's all we got for you on this beautiful Wednesday. Enjoy Thursday night football tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday night. Stay dry. It's supposed to rain throughout the course of the night. Ruins my workout in the morning. It's okay. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you can't watch us, but you like listening to us anywhere you get your pods. Jared, I don't know why he keeps doing that to you.
I love when Lloyd puts the camera on me as if he doesn't know what I'm actually doing on the other side. It's like, hey, let me see if I can catch him not looking at the screen, and I'm gonna just put him on right now.
Well, I didn't know how quickly Mikey was gonna wrap up. I wanted you to get your celebration.
I'm not there yet. We appreciate y'all. Tune in to us on Friday back live in studio from 1 to 2-ish. We promise, we're gonna hit our parlay this week. I need some help. I'm gonna start my bets this week are gonna be a lot of Lloyd, the units that Lloyd uses.
$5.
I don't have many. If I want to bet the games I want to bet, I need to start winning. So, all right, we appreciate y'all. We love y'all. See y'all on Friday.
Peace.
Nah, they don't like us no more.
Jesus, can we be any more negative? Are you kidding me?